Radio Rahim in Manchester, England, with Oleksandr Usyk taking on Tony Bellew Saturday night. You know, in just 15 short fights, you've managed to become something of a king of the CruiserWeight division, which lands you here in England for the first time as a professional. How is your reception here? How does it feel to come to this land of boxing culture triumphant in this way?
I love the reception here, and it's been a long time since I've been in love with England, and I'm really grateful to this country that this kind of sports that I love so much was invented over here.
You know, one of the signatures of your career so far has been fighting in other guys' backyard. You go where people live, to their homeland, and beat them. Is there something special about coming here and facing a hometown favorite like Tony Bellew?
If you want to be recognized as the top athlete, you have to come to other guys' territory. You have to fight them over there, and you have to win. That is the way to become really undisputed.
Now, listen, you have 4 titles in addition to the Ring Magazine title. Obviously, your own hometown loves you. Do you feel like, assuming you're victorious against Tony Bellew, that you have the star power to fight at home and make guys come see you now as champion?
The Lord has the plan for each of us, and we think that we influence the situation while we are taking decisions, undertaking actions. But He has the plan for each of us, and all we need to do is to trust and to be led by the Lord. My compatriots, they've been missing my fights in Ukraine for a long time, and as soon as the opportunity arrives, I will be happy to perform in my hometown and my homeland.
That might be the Lord there on the phone.
Yes.
Hello. Good call. You know what strikes me is one thing that when I met Triple G, for instance, he was about the same time in his career. He had just started to get world recognition. People in the boxing world began to be aware of who he was, and he was beating guys, knocking everybody out. And he had the same kind of boyish charm about him, like a happiness that seems infectious. And I didn't realize that you were a religious man, not to the degree that it appears that you are. Does that have something to do with your attitude or your mannerisms, or where do you get that boyish kind of happiness, giddiness?
I do trust, and this gives me the strong, the power to live, because when you die, physically die, and He returns you back, He should have some plans on you, and that makes me feel really confident in my life.
Being in such a violent sport, we all know the dangers that happen in boxing, the worst that could happen in the ring or just following a brutal fight. As aggressive as you are and as violent as this sport can be, what is your motivation in the moment? Is it just to win? Do you like to hurt guys? What is your ultimate goal when you're in there fighting? Like some guys really like to knock guys out and put them to sleep and hurt them, and some guys just are in there just for the W. It doesn't matter how it comes. I asked this question because one of your recent rounds against Gassiev, people were mesmerized by 47 shots that you landed and the aggression that you had towards the end of the fight, even though it seemed you'd already had the fight in hand. You're a closer, is my point. What is it that motivates you to close fights that way?
I enjoy not just fighting, but I enjoy executing the assignment that my trainer gives to me, and I enjoy the work I do in a training camp in the gym when I'm in the preparation before the fight. No matter hard the task is, I enjoy completing it, and even though it might be impossible for many people, I put a goal in front of myself, and I enjoy reaching this goal, no matter how high the price is, no matter how hard it is for myself. I love to overcome myself. It's not a big pleasure for me when I hurt people, when it comes to some injuries or whatever, because they all have family, they all have children, wife, parents, and it doesn't make me happy.
You talk about wanting to accomplish goals, that being such a big deal for you. Have you accomplished, assuming again that this Tony Bellew fight goes the way you'd like and you get the victory, have you accomplished what you wanted out of the cruiserweight division? I mean, in 15 fights, you've got 4 titles, you got the Ring Magazine belt. Is that enough for you in this division, or is it important for you to defend these titles and campaign here?
Of course, this is true. I had a goal to become the undisputed champion in cruiserweight, and I achieved this goal. That's 100%. But it's not the full stop for me. It's just the end of one stage, because I want to improve myself. I want to distinguish myself in other spheres, in other sections. All I have now, thanks to the Lord, is something that stays behind me, and each coming fight is the new stage, is the new stair which stays in front of me, and I enjoy working, improving myself, overcoming myself in each upcoming stage.
When a fighter has done what you have in not just attaining titles, but starting to get the kind of stardom that you're getting, everybody wants to match him up with the other stars in the sport. In this case, you're closest to one of the biggest stars in the sport, Anthony Joshua. You've signed with his promoter. He's a heavyweight. You're a cruiserweight. Is this a fight that you feel like you're ready for? And if so, is the heavyweight division a greater challenge for you than you feel like the cruiserweight division has been?
Да, я к нему иду.
I am on my way to the fight with Anthony Joshua.
Is that something that you've discussed with Eddie Hearn? You're signed with Matchroom, and it would seem like that's a good move to be on your way to Anthony Joshua. But has anyone had the conversation with you or promised you that you'll get that fight?
Да, мы подписали, моя компания.
My company, which I belong to, K2 Promotions, has signed the co-promotional deal with Matchroom for several fights, and I think they did discuss this opportunity, or they are being discussed. They are in the process of discussing it at this moment, and it's not actually my responsibility talking on future fights, but I'm confident that this fight is definitely under discussion.
Now, Anthony Joshua is not the only heavyweight champion. Obviously, we have Wilder and Fury fight coming up in just over a month. Does the winner of that fight interest you? Why Joshua and not the winner of Fury Wilder?
I am interested in the heavyweight division. I tell you why. Many experts say that I shouldn't go up in weight, that I'm too small for it. My size does not allow me to be victorious in this division. But then all my life I've been hearing the skepticism, like, you shouldn't do this, you will not succeed in this. And only Lord says to me, go, Sasha, go.
You've been rumored to have had some heavyweight sparring at the very least with not one of the least in the division, Vladimir Klitschko. He's a pretty big guy. He's certainly a giant heavyweight, if you will. Tell me about how that went, and have you sparred any other heavyweights that you feel prepare you to enter the heavyweight division?
Not just before Tony Bellew fight, but before Garcia fight, I had sparring partners for heavyweight division. and I got used to that. But speaking about Vladimir Klitschko, for some, it's a huge. First of all, it's a huge honor to have an opportunity to box with a guy like him. Not every professional boxer could have such kind of opportunity, and first of all, that was a huge, not just honor and experience for me. I was like I was learning so many things, and now when he has this possibility to come, he definitely comes and tries to teach me some new things in heavy.
The Klitschko's reign in the heavyweight division for 12 years, and some people felt like that was a slow time for the division because they weren't exciting fighters, even though they were dominant fighters and dominant champions. Is it important for you to not just be dominant, which you have been, but also continue to be exciting, which you also have been, and marks kind of your brand in the sport right now?
There are two different kinds of spectacular fighters. One is a subtle counter-puncher who shows the work like playing chess, and it's kind of arts, sports arts. And the other kind is when a guy is has the blood on all his body, and that's a second kind of a spectacular fighter. And people enjoy both. Both fighters need to be respected. Both kind of fighters need to be respected. But on my side, I enjoy when people love what I'm doing, and that's actually my incentive to do it even better. And it's always good when you have fans, when you have spectators, when people want to watch you, and you have the inside desire to perform specially for them.
You know, the two kind of fighters you just described could be, to some degree, a description of one of the most exciting heavyweight fights people are anticipating. Actually, that they probably hope happens even before you get a shot at Joshua, which is Wilder Joshua. How do you see the matchup between those two? Do you have a favorite, or do you think that one guy dominates the other for sure?
I like Joshua better because he doesn't speak that much. I actually don't like the boxers who talk too much.
One of the fighters that you have a great relationship with, I see you guys in social media all the time, looks like you're having a ball, is Vasyl Lomachenko. Do you consider him, as some people do, to be pound for pound best in the sport? And what is your relationship based on? How did you guys become such good friends?
I do consider him to be the best fighter pound for pound in the world. We have very much in common. We have a lot of goals that match each other.
И мы с ним родственники.
And we are relatives with him.
Я крестил его сына.
I am the godfather for his son.
Он крестил моего сына.
He is the godfather for my son.
Почему мы дружим? Потому что...
Why we are friends?
Потому что это настоящий человек.
Because he is the real man, the real human being.
Иногда он молчит. Вот знаете, мы едем с ним в машине, и он молчит.
Sometimes he keeps silence.
Но это молчание...
in a car and he's silent.
Но это молчание настолько тебя наполняет.
But this silence inspires you so much.
Я его люблю, это мой брат.
I love him, he's my brother.
Now, the two kind of fighters you described, the chess match guy and the guy that just has his blood up and is a big knockout kind of puncher, again, could describe the two of you to a degree. He's known for his chess style moves in boxing and doing things in angles that people are not accustomed to. You're known for being incredibly aggressive and a heavy-handed fighter. Do you learn from each other? Would you like to be more like him in technique, and does he desire to be more like you in power and aggression?
He could get something for his style. You have to ask him on this question. But if you ask me about him, I have so many things that I love in him, and I want to apply in my boxing. His father, Anatoly Lomachenko, he was my trainer for the previous fight with Murat Gassiev. He brought me to the gold medal on the Olympics in London. And he participates in almost all of my fights, all the fights I had.
Being an Olympic gold medalist, and I've seen you watching fights ringside and on social media, so I know that you're a fan of the sport. I've got to ask you your prediction on some upcoming fights. Well, two guys who do quite a bit of talking, so you might not like either of them very much, but have a huge fight coming up not far after yours is obviously Wilder and Fury.
It's not a good thing to be a predictor. I wish they both punch each other at the same time and fall down together. Anyway, it's gonna be a spectacular fight, and I'm keen on watching it.
So you predict a double knockout?
Yes.
Well, short of a prediction then, a huge star that has signed with Dazn, who you'll be fighting on that network, is Canelo Alvarez, who we've seen fight twice now against Triple G. Again, a guy we think you have a lot in common with. I'm curious how you saw those fights. Did you feel like Canelo won both, or got a draw and won the second time? Break down for me how you saw those fights.
The first fight that was between Canelo and Triple G, my opinion is that Triple G won that fight. Second fight, I think he lost.
You're stepping up in weight, at least you intend to a heavyweight division. Canelo's doing the same and stepping up in weight for his next fight. Do you think that he will be successful at a heavier weight? And he's kind of being billed as the biggest star. If Lomachenko is the best fighter, they say Canelo is the biggest star in boxing. Do you agree with that as well?
Like the word a star. If I'm talking about Vasyl Lomachenko, he didn't have the opportunity to disclose his potential, his real potential, because many of the fighters just don't want to fight him. They avoid fighting him. If you want to see who real Lomachenko is, you have to match him with the best fighter, and then you can see who he really is and who is the biggest star. In Canelo, he's going to move up in weight. I think he will succeed there because what I see is that he used to lose a lot of weight before the fight.
And lastly, about other fighters, the big star that is unarguable in the last decade or so has been Floyd Mayweather. We see he's returning to the ring, or the cage maybe at this point. What do you think about Floyd coming back in Japan to fight maybe MMA and his preceding fight with Conor McGregor? How do you take that for the sport of boxing? And do you enjoy it? You think it's a good thing, bad thing?
Boxing has nothing to do with Floyd Mayweather and his steps in MMA. I mean, he is coming out of boxing, people know him, people talk about him, and it's up to him if he wants just to earn some extra money using his popularity. We have to, first, we have to ban the matchups between the MMA and boxing, because this is something that really hurts the real sport of boxing. I understand that some huge money is within, and some people just want to earn it, but that really hurts boxing as the oldest probably fighting martial arts. And if we speak about Floyd Mayweather, it's up to him, of course, to earn money. Some people want to see this, and some people want to pay for this. But my attitude is that boxing, you have to stay within a field you are an expert in, and you have to be to stay until the end. And of course, it's up to anybody who takes the decision whether to move in a separate direction.
Well, like you say, you don't like the word star because everyone hasn't had an opportunity to shine, but you have. And you're quickly becoming a star in this sport, not just in wins, but obviously financially with the deals you've recently made. How has your recent success, and really in boxing what could consider a rocket ship to stardom in 15 fights to be undisputed unified champion, changed your life abroad, which is where you tend to fight most of the time now, and when you return home?
Опять же повторюсь, я не звезда, если меня
Tell you
показывают.
once again, I am not a star, and if I am on a TV a bit more often than other people, it doesn't mean anything.
Ничего не меняется, я живу той же жизнью.
Nothing changed. I live the life I used to live.
Да, у меня появляется возможность больше путешествовать со своей семьей, со своей женой.
I have an opportunity to travel more with my wife.
Я
with
купил
my
себе
family.
квартиру, купил
I
машину.
purchased an apartment, a house. I purchased a car.
И думаю, куда вложить деньги, которые имею.
And now I'm considering how to invest the money I have earned.
Yeah, that's a little different maybe than you've been living before. Lastly, Usyk, you talk about goals and wanting to accomplish them. You've done many of those things as you've described early in your career, which amazingly we still are. What is your overall goal in the sport? When the day comes that it will inevitably come for everyone, when you have to retire, what would you like to have accomplished by then?
I need to become the undisputed heavyweight champion. As soon as I become, I will turn back and say, guys, thank you very much for your participation. Thanks everyone. I will thank the Lord. I will bow to the ground and say farewell. I go home.
Wow. Guys, thank you for your participation. Thank you for the time. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. I think the world is getting to know you now, and we're rather enjoying your work. So we can't wait to see you in the ring one more time this Saturday against Tony Bellew at Manchester Arena. Good luck, champion. It's been a pleasure. Radio Rahim with Oleksandr Usyk.